Imagine some high-speed, slow-motion footage of a heavy leather glove flying directly at the camera, literally right at your face. What does your body naturally want to do? Your visceral instinct just screams at you to pull your entire upper body completely out of the way. You panic, you bend aggressively at the waist, duck your head, and just pray that leather misses you. But what happens when that exact instinct is exactly what your opponent is counting on? And that brings us to what we call the illusion of evasion. If dodging a punch leaves you completely off balance, the brutal truth is you haven't actually evaded danger. No, you've just delayed it. It's totally an illusion. Because a fighter who loses their base while slipping is physically incapable of hitting back. If you have no balance, you've got no counter. And if you have no counter, well, you're just waiting to get hit. Let's look at the classic big slip trap. So going back to that young fighter, a long, stiff jab comes rocketing straight down the pipe. In a total panic, the beginner lurches their head a full 12 inches to the outside. I mean, a whole foot of movement. Now, sure, the jab misses. They moved 12 inches, so they're completely safe, right? Actually, wrong. Think about the extreme physical vulnerability here. Because they moved a massive 12 inches, their spine is now bent sideways like a willow tree in a hurricane. Think about the weight distribution. 90% of their body weight is just abruptly dumped right onto their front leg. Their rear heel is probably hovering off the mat, knees are buckled all awkwardly, and worst of all, their eyes are staring uselessly down at the canvas instead of at their opponent. Which brings us to this incredibly important takeaway from our source material. To a smart opponent, that off-balance slip isn't a defense at all. It's literally an invitation. By leaning completely over, that beginner is totally trapped. The immediate consequence? The opponent lets the jab miss and then instantly follows up with a short hook or a devastating uppercut that catches our beginner right on the chin. And why? Simply because they threw themselves into a space where they couldn't defend themselves. Section 2, the revelation, the center pillar. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we can fix this by looking at the masters. We're pivoting away from the rookies' panicked mistakes and looking right at the defensive secrets of all-time greats, guys like Pernell, Whitaker, or Canelo, Alvarez. Imagine a vertical line running from the crown of the head straight down through the spine, right through the pelvis. These defensive masters, they do not bend their spine off-center to dodge. They treat their torso as a center pillar. They keep that spine perfectly stacked directly over their hips. To really lock this concept into your brain, let's contrast two metaphors. We already talked about the bad habit, the willow tree, bending dangerously off-center just to dodge. Instead, I want you to picture a revolving door at the entrance of a super busy building. A revolving door doesn't lean sideways to let people walk through, right? Of course not. It rotates on a perfectly stationary central axis. Danger just passes right by as you rotate. When you adopt that revolving door mindset, the math completely changes. Remember that 12-inch rookie mistake? Yeah, when you execute a correct slip using the center pillar, your head only needs to move 2 to 3 inches. That is it. Just enough for the leather of the glove to literally brush past your ear, while your spine stays perfectly stacked. All right, let's get into the mastery. 3 rules of the smart slip. Now that we understand the philosophy of the center pillar of defense, let's transition into some intense tactical training. We're breaking this magic down into actionable mechanics. Here's your high-level roadmap. 3 simple sequential rules for a perfectly executed smart slip. First up, we drop the shoulder. Second, we clear the punch by a single inch. And third, we load the spring. Let's walk through exactly how each of these works in practice. Let's kick things off with rule number 1. Drop the shoulder, do not bend the waist. To slip a jab to the outside, you absolutely must fight the urge to just lean your head to the left. Instead, think about your shoulders. You want to pull your lead shoulder down towards your lead hip while simultaneously rotating your rear shoulder back. Think of your core acting kind of like an accordion. You heavily contract that accordion on one side. This specific muscle contraction is what allows you to execute that shoulder drop while completely preserving your base. Sure, your weight might shift a tiny bit, say from a 50-50 split to maybe a 55-45 distribution, but your center of gravity, it remains firmly planted over your feet. You are totally grounded.
So the crucial point is rule number 2, an inch is as good as a mile. In boxing, you literally get 0 extra points for making a punch miss by 2 feet. None. A miss is a miss. You want that glove as close to your face as physically possible without it actually making contact.
And why is that? Well, there is a massive tactical advantage here. The closer that punch comes without touching you, the faster you are in position to return fire. But to do that, you have to be looking at your target. You must keep your eyes locked dead ahead on your opponent's chest or collarbone. You are looking right through the punch as it sails past. Honestly, if you're looking at the floor, you've already lost the exchange. Which leads us perfectly into rule number 3. Use the slip to load your spring. This is where the magic really happens. A smart slip isn't just about defense. It's not just about avoiding damage. It is actually the ultimate offensive setup for throwing your hardest possible counterpunch.
And this brilliantly illustrates the true physics of the sport at work. Because you kept your center pillar intact, your torso rotated without breaking your base. And when that happens, your hips naturally coil. You've essentially just wound up a heavy spring on your rear hip. The torque is instantly loaded, and you have all this beautiful, perfectly balanced kinetic energy ready to release right back into a devastating counter hook or cross. You slipped, you loaded, you fire.
Bringing it all together, the application, the slip line drill. So how do we take all this brilliant theory and actually apply it? Let's bring the narrative back into the gym. We need to show you exactly how to embody the center pillar concept in reality, so your body just does it instinctively next time a punch comes your way. Enter the classic 3-minute slip line mirror drill. You tie a simple piece of string across the gym at shoulder height. Stand directly under the line in your base stance, and just move smoothly down the line, slipping side to side. Your entire focus is on rotating those shoulders around your central axis. And here's the built-in feedback that makes this drill so powerful. If your head completely dips below that string, or if your rear foot comes flying up off the mat, boom, you immediately know you're over-moving. You're breaking the center pillar. The ultimate takeaway from our sources today is this. Stop working twice as hard just to get out of the way. Stop giving away your base and making yourself so vulnerable. Keep your movements micro. Stay completely grounded. Just let that punch merely graze your ear. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final thought to take with you to the gym. The very next time you slip a punch, ask yourself, are you just panicking and evading danger, or are you mastering the center pillar of defense, perfectly loading the spring and preparing to fire back every single time?